News.
All right, so yesterday, Mayor Joe Ganim was on the show, and he had a lot to say about the primary and his primary opponent.
Yes.
Today, that primary opponent is in studio. John Gomes, welcome.
Well, thank you for having me.
Did you hear anything the mayor had to say yesterday?
Yes, I did.
All right, I want to play you some stuff and get your response to it. First is that he had nothing to do with the ballots being stuffed. If they find this to be true, there'll be no texts or emails or any communications between you and this person about ballot stuffing.
Absolutely. No, I don't. Absolutely not. Just to make your clear question with a clearness. Absolutely not.
What do you think of that?
Well, the fact that we have the vice president of the Democratic Party in the city of Bridgeport, we have a district leader, we have someone that has been mentioned in numerous complaints as we were canvassing about the intimidation, bullying, and so forth of the residents of Bridgeport, the Democratic voters of Bridgeport. I would say that there was some link somewhere. The question is, where are the evidence?
How did you get that videotape?
All I could tell you is that it's a symbol of how the system is corrupt.
So it's somebody who had access to it who's in favor of you being mayor, right?
Well,
got it and gave it to you.
It was anonymously put in front of me.
Okay.
And
so you don't know who it was?
No, I do not.
So
know.
if there was a crime committed, you don't know who committed that crime?
Wanda Jeter. Who's stuff?
No. Yeah, that's the lady who was seen on video allegedly putting ballots in the box.
Correct.
Right? Okay. But in terms of if the video was turns out it was stolen somehow or it wasn't legally obtained, you have nothing to do with that.
No.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
No connection.
No connection.
Got it. Okay. So here's another thing that he said, implying the video was stolen.
Maybe they stole a video from a city property. I don't know. That's up to the police department to decide.
So was it stolen? Do you know?
I cannot confirm that. But the one thing I could tell you is that I was aware that the police had this information days prior to the primary. I believe they had it right after the incident occurred. I knew the incident, but I didn't know the content until I saw it. And when I saw it, I felt that the awareness needs to be brought to this because, again, this is someone that's very involved with politics inside, from the town chair to the mayor to the city hall to the district to the city council. So this information had to be put out there because my concern was that how transparent was the investigation going to carry forth, given that I felt that they already had information. It would be turned over to Internal Affairs, who in turn reports to the mayor. As a matter of fact, the drivers of the mayor work Internal Affairs. So there will be a lot of contradiction to the outcome.
I see what you're saying. So you had to put it out there because it would have never made it out there if you didn't put it out there.
I would, yes, that was a big concern of mine.
All right. So the mayor yesterday on the show, we're talking about Bridgeport. Yeah. The primary was very close. Joe Gomes was leading.
John Gomes.
John was leading. And then the ballots came in.
Right.
And then, Joe Ganim's up. Is he still up by 200 and something votes?
At the end of the night when the polls closed, we were up by 470 votes. That's a substantial lead. After the absentee ballots came through, we were down under 250. And there were some quotes that the mayor made, including in the Hartford Current, which stated that he wasn't worried. He was waiting for the absentee ballot. And we have seen history in 2019. These same alleged perpetrators that have committed this crime on the 23 campaign have been referred for criminal charges from the state attorneys and the enforcement commissioner.
So here in this clip, he was calling you and your cronies scary people.
These are scary people. Everyone I saw in that press conference from their past experiences, some of them involved in the city government, all had to be walked out the door, unfortunately, because of their inactions, inappropriate actions. Gomes himself was let go for inappropriate action in his office.
What inappropriate action?
There were no inappropriate actions, and no one was let outside the door. All the people that were with me walked out because they felt tired of what was going on inside. We went in with a promise to restore Bridgeport to its promise, and Mayor failed to do so. His lack of leadership, hands-on, proved so. We are capable people. Everyone that supports me that walked out of there are graduates of universities.
So you weren't let out of the building? None of these people were let out of the building?
Not at all.
None of them were let go?
Not at all.
Gotcha.
Not at all. With me, they called it a restructuring of the administration. They called it restructuring at that time, and then during the ad, during the campaign.
That's how radio people get fired, really. It's like, hey, we're going in another direction.
I've been restructured several times.
Yes. With me, he called it a restructuring when...
okay, so in his mind, he was letting you go.
But then during the advertising, during the campaign, he said that I was fired. So there's a contradiction there in itself. And furthermore, you feel free to contact any of the city employees to understand the reputation, the credibility I have with them. I've always been a person that has been hands-on in the job I did. I went in, I evaluated, I assessed the situation. I gave the resources necessary to arrive at a result. And my thing is to hold people accountable. And that's what I want to work for the city of Bridgeport, because I'm one of those that suffer the consequences of the lack of decision and hands-on that this administration has been doing. I'm that taxpayer. I'm that resident. I'm that father. I'm the one that had the kids in the school system.
This is the pitch, but let's talk about this election now.
Okay.
All right. So it's pending. You have a lawsuit pending. And what is your hope that what?
I hope that the primary is asked to be redone again.
Has that ever been done before?
On a small scale, on the district, there was something that was done I believe, in the 134th.
So you'd like all of Bridgeport to redo the primary?
Because the election has been tainted.
Now, wouldn't they be able to just take the ballots and sift through them and see what's legit and what's not, eliminate the ones that aren't legit, and then do a recount? Would that be
I assume
something
that
you'd be okay with?
Well, I assume that can be possible. Understand that, on September 5th, my campaign wrote a letter to the Secretary of the State expressing concern because there were about 4,000 applications, which historically, not only in the state is the largest amount, but in the city as wide. Most of the cities and towns, 200-300 ABs suffice for the election.
Like a city the size of New Haven.
Right.
Would have that same.
Well, the other thing in New Haven, they also have supervised election where any resident, both private or federal run, if you have 20 residents that are registered voters in there, you would ask, they supervise the election. And we've asked for a monitor during the election. That never happened. And thus we are here today because we understood the trend and the history, and we heard from the field as far as what was going on.
John Gomes is in Bridgeport mayoral candidate. He lost to Mayor Ganem in the primary, but he's disputing that. Mayor Ganem was on the show yesterday, and he said that there was some issue with some lady with dementia.
There's also a woman who was seen, a city councilwoman, who apparently went into a woman with the house who has dementia. And they have there's a video of her, too. I don't think it's been released. And a picture of her rummaging through this woman's personal things. And that's being investigated by the Bridgeport Police Department, too. A Gomes campaign person.
What he also failed to say was that same council person put out a press release showing that she has had over 15 years relationship with that family. And the daughter of the family, who's a caretaker, is completely on the side of this councilwoman. They're actually angry that they're trying to tarnish the reputation and the credibility of this councilwoman. So that's what he needs to also add to that. And there's a press release in black and white that has been released on behalf of that councilwoman, clarifying not only on herself, but also more importantly, the family released that statement stating that it's completely false. It's a political ploy trying to detract from the true fact that the people of Bridgeport wanted a change, and that was proven with 470 in our favor when the ballot closed.
And he also said that you would shut down the amphitheater.
Gomes has said he'll close the amphitheater if he gets elected. There'll be no sound on sound in Bridgeport. This is like a real deal for people in Bridgeport and beyond.
I mean, this is more of a campaign issue, and we're beyond this, but what is your feeling on the amphitheater? I found that shocking.
No, that's absolutely not true. The real deal is that the mayor needs to be transparent with the process of the amphitheater and the return on investment to the residents of Bridgeport. That's the question. There are stipulations in the contract that puts a large financial burden on the residents of Bridgeport while others are profiting. You have to understand, this is a city where education is being underfunded. Police is under budgeted. There are tons of allocations of fund that need to be redone and looked at in a very transparent way. We cannot have...
There's no denying that amphitheater brings a lot of people into the city and a lot of businesses benefit.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
And that's something that we agree. But the question is, there's a large cost that's being put on the city, and that's all we're asking. What was the contract? How was it done? What's the long-term plan? What's the return on investment for the city of Bridgeport? That's it. And not only myself, through the FOIs, it keeps being requested and nothing's being answered. But I agree with you. It brings a large entertainment, and
it's the best thing that's happened to the city in my lifetime.
Hands down.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
No, the amphitheater would not be shut down under my administration. Not at all.
Gotcha.
I mean, I wouldn't even.
Not at all.
I would say, thank God it's here.
Yeah, not at all.
Thank you, guys.
Yes.
Keep it going.
Exactly.
Can I help you in any way? How can I help you guys? Yeah. All right. Anything else?
Well, I continue to ask the Secretary of the State, to get involved actively in the November 7th election.
She'll be here in an hour. You want to call in? Or just walk back. Walk back over here. Just come over.
But the main thing here is that the residents of Bridgeport have spoken. We were up 470 votes. And there are evidence that shows tampering, and we're asking not only from the...
Yeah, after the whole campaign, you would like it to be looked into. At the same time, we hear of mayors all the time losing by 10 votes or just a few votes, and that's why every vote matters.
Right.
At what point do you just say, okay, I'll see you next time?
Well, right now it's a video. It's in color. It's something that has never been... in possession of anyone. And more importantly, this is a video that shows people from inside the party, inside City Hall. Understand, the video is not from a home surveillance. This is directly from inside City Hall resources. There were questions of accessibility into the register office. I mean, all type of violations happen here. And there needs to be some transparency and clarity in order to restore the hope for the people of Bridgeport, so they know that their vote counts equally.
In the history of Connecticut, what's the longest an election or a primary has been in limbo?
I'm not certain.
Yeah.
I'm not certain right now. I mean, hopefully by Friday we have some decision or court date by the court system, and Friday, Monday we'll move forward. And really, we need to expedite this within the next 10 days or less, because we have now 47 days until November 7th.
Right.
Right, yeah.
Right. Well, thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.